Yes, guys, welcome to Step Up Unfiltered. Completely different episode today, as this is an online episode with an extra special guest. This is the home of uncensored conversations, tackling life's biggest challenges and bridging division. If you could tell the audience your name, your age, your occupation, and a fun fact that they may not know about you.
Hi, I'm Rosie. I am 27 and I am from Venezuela and I'm a fitness coach and also do bodybuilding. I compete on the bikini division.
Yes, I've seen the pictures. Very, very fit. So, I mean, how have you done? You look like you've placed really, really well.
Thank you. So I've been in the bodybuilding war around 4 or 5 years. So I did my first show and I placed really good because I was technically prepping for like 3 years. It was crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but it was a lot of bulking seasons and then cut and all. It's like a whole process. It's like a long run, a marathon.
That's a very, very long marathon. 3 years.
Yeah, pretty much 3 years prepping for like one show. Yeah.
Wow. And how did you get on?
I did really good. I placed first on everything, and I was like, okay, it was worth it. It was worth it the way. So now my next goal is to do one of the national level shows, where it's like one of the big ones, and then we'll go from there. But I'm prepping for it. I'm prepping for it.
Nice.
Once I'm coming back stronger.
So how long's the prep gonna be for the next one?
We're playing it by ear, and depending on how I'm looking, so it's little by little, and then once I feel like I'm ready and I have enough muscle, I have enough density, I'm ready to go.
So how long roughly do you think that could take? Just so I could get an
So
idea.
I've done right now. I did like the whole year off season, pretty much, and I'm gonna do a mini cut right now and see how much muscle I have. If I have enough muscle, enough density, it was like a year and a half, let's say, 2 years, depending on it.
Wow, so you're really, really about it, taking full years out to get to your
Yes.
goal. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. That is what you call true ambition. And how do you find dating when you obviously have to be so strict? Does that mean that the person that you date has to be into fitness at the same level as you? How does that all work?
So definitely you gotta find someone that supports you, especially in this sport. And I am married,
Okay.
so
Yes.
my husband is fully supportive with everything that I do and my craziness. So yeah, we're like he respects when I'm on prep that I need to be on prep and I need to be locked in on my meal plan. And most of the time I am actually on my meal plan. And you do need to find someone that is on that same level. If not, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that makes sense, to be fair. So is your husband, does he also compete as well, or is he just loves the gym and likes staying on
He
diet as
doesn't
well?
compete, but he does love the gym and he loves fitness. He
Yeah,
might do a show. He said that he got inspired by me, so who knows?
there
Who
you
knows?
go.
Maybe.
The wife inspired her husband.
You know how it is.
I know it. I know it. I love the gym. I don't know if I'd ever compete, but I do love the gym. I'm into my fitness, so I completely understand that. How long have you been married?
We've been together 7 years. I
Wow.
total. I know, and 3 years married. So 4 years dating and then three
Damn.
years married.
So how did you know that the serious relationship lifestyle was for you? Because when did you move over to Florida?
Uh, yeah, we met in Florida. He's actually not from Florida. He's from up north.
Okay.
And we met in Florida in 2018, I think so. And then
Yeah.
we started just dating. We both like fitness stuff. And at the beginning, he was more fitness than I was. And so I was like, it's funny, yeah. Because I like to go to the gym, but I was like, I wasn't really into like tracking meals or anything like that. And then like once the relationship evolved, I was like, oh, I'm gonna start tracking my food. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hire a coach. So just went by
No
that.
way. Yeah, that's funny. I remember my last relationship. I got my ex-missus like really into the gym because she used to be a runner before. And then she was, yeah, when it came to diet and everything like that, she became super, super strict. Even desserts or protein desserts, which I loved. So that is funny how that definitely works in a relationship. But that sounds like a very healthy relationship. So no wonder why you're married. But just the last point on that. So obviously you'd gone to Florida single near Miami. Obviously, a lot of girls kind of, go there young and are just like, I want to just enjoy myself and party lifestyle and marry a millionaire. Um, what kind of prevented you from going down that path and just, I know obviously you didn't know you were going to meet the love of your life, but
Yeah. So the difference I think between me and some other girls is I when I moved to the US, I actually moved because I was like, I want a better life. I just want a better future. I wasn't really focused like looking for someone or anything. I just wanted to better myself and I wanted a better life for me. And I always been like super center. I wanted to like, find a job, make money, and being able to, afford what I wanted to afford, being able to buy a car and just do my own like life,
yeah.
especially because I come from Venezuela. So it's like, I came from like nothing.
Yeah, 100%. So you're like more locked in because it's not like just
Mm-hmm.
a rich girl coming from Cali to Miami because she just wants to change her lifestyle. You're coming from
Correct.
the ends. Okay, yeah, I love that
Yes.
answer. So that has been a nice little segue into Venezuela. And then it's going to get spicy later on because we're going to tackle the Maduro situation and it will really turn up to Step Up Unfiltered. But what was life like growing up in Venezuela? Because obviously, outside of people that actually live there, none of us know.
Yeah. So living in Venezuela and growing up in Venezuela with this government was rough. Um,
Were you born into this government?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
crazy.
So this is the only government that has been my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just crazy to even say it. It's like only one government has been there your whole life. So um I was once you start going to school and I start hearing things and people have opinions, my parents always were very open with me at home and they were like, hey, you can have opinions, but just don't express yourself out there because you never
Mm,
know who's listening. You
mm.
never know if there's people from the government that is just that they'll take that in a bad way. So you were not able to speak up and express your opinions about anything. Um, Even with my friends, like unless we were like inside of someone's house, you were not able to talk about like, okay, our parents are not able to find food or medicines or anything related towards what it was going on, the situation in Venezuela. Because I remember at a certain point we couldn't even find toilet paper. So you were not able to talk about it. Or even pads. So you were like, hey, do you find pads? Like, can I borrow one of them? Like it was like a secret. It's like like please don't talk about
Was
it.
this because the economy was failing and stuff like that, or was this?
So what happened is the government from Venezuela actually little by little start taking all the entities over there, like the Congress, the people that approve the laws, the people that approve everything that is happening in the government, even the elections. They were managing the elections. So everything, oh, and the oil too, because they took the oil company as well. So everything money wise that was coming into the country, they will took it for them,
Mm.
and essentially whatever it was left to buy supplies or to buy anything else like to support the whole country, it wasn't, the money was not there. So then you don't have importation, you don't have exportation, you don't have anything going on because the money is not fluent throughout like the government and how it's supposed to be. Everybody was
So,
just taking a little bit of it.
so why? So you know how you're saying in your houses you can talk about it, but you can't talk about it outside. Is that because of spies? I don't know. Because I was thinking, in the World War, how there were wiretaps and stuff like that in people's phones. It wasn't as crazy as that, but it was more because someone could just be listening.
Yes, so someone can be listening. Somebody might be, your parents might work for the government. And I don't know because people wouldn't talk about it. Or your parents might work for the army over there. And the army over there is the one that has killed people just because they are protesting. And we don't have guns over there. So when you go protest, like you only have your voice, you don't have anything, you have nothing to defend yourself. So you will never know who was with the government and who wasn't. And if you were, if this person that hear you is with the government, they might go to their parents, and then after that, they might prosecute your own parents for everything.
For what you
So
were saying.
yes, for everything that I was saying as a kid, you
Yeah,
know. So it's like because this is why you're talking at home, so you're not supporting our government. So you cannot be against us, pretty much. You gotta be with us or dead. So it's like super extreme because people don't believe it when I say it. I'm like, no, like you need to leave there. You need to grow in this. Like I know it sounds crazy, but it is like that.
yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I think coming from the UK as I do, or coming from America, we don't realize how huge freedom of speech is. We can criticize the left, the right, all we like, and we don't have to think anything about it. And it's only when you hear a story like that, you're like, oh wow, that is definitely a huge privilege that we have. Because you hear about the same thing in North Korea and stuff like that. People can't say what they generally think, which is crazy.
Yeah, and that's how it is in our countries. Is like that's how it is in Cuba. And right now, even like at this moment in time, the Venezuelans living in Venezuela, they cannot talk on their phones about what's going on. They cannot text you anything related about what's going on because the government is still there. I mean, yeah, they took the president, but the rest of the people is still there. So they're still tracking phones and all that stuff. So they cannot text you, hey, we're happy or anything like that. They can maybe say it to you on a phone call, but not on a text. So
So
that's how extreme it is.
yeah. So how bad has it gotten? Even when you were growing up there, what's the kind of the worst things that people are going through?
So one of the worst things, I mean, I have a neighbor. Um, he died because he went to three different hospitals and they had no supplies to treat him. It was a kid. He was like 10 or 12. He died
What-
because there was no supplies. And this is someone that I know. He was my neighbor. So, yeah, that's how bad it was.
And is it still like that?
I mean, it's still bad, but I have hope. And this is what I tell everybody. I have hope now because right now, I mean, we can at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. And there is people that is dying every day in Venezuela just because they don't have food or medicine. And now it seems like with the US handling the money, they're at least able, like, they're going to be able to do all this. They're going to be able to go buy medicine. They're like talking about opening a Walmart. Like, we don't have Walmart and we don't, like, you go to a store and there's only one shampoo that you can buy, only one type of shampoo. Like there's no like nothing else. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like when I first moved to the US and I went to Walmart, I remember I was so overwhelmed because I've never seen so many shampoos and so many soaps. It's like you go once to the store, let's say I go today to the store, buy shampoo, I go next week, okay, there is another shampoo. You don't pick what you want. You only get what you get. And you're lucky if
Mhm.
you find it, it's
Yeah.
like you should be grateful that you're getting at least a bottle of shampoo, and then a certain point is like you can only buy, one bottle of shampoo or one toilet paper because there is not that many. So only one per person.
Crazy. That's nuts. And you're going to America, which has just got everything and
Yes,
everything in huge amounts and supplies. Do you reckon,
yes.
I mean, I guess this is just me making an observation. Do you feel like you're quite a humble person?
Like, what do you mean, like if I'm humble?
Hi, humble means
Like,
so very appreciative, like down to earth.
oh, I am
Yeah.
super.
And
I
do you
am
think
very
that's because of
appreciative.
do you think that's because of your background and beginning?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am super appreciative for everything I get. Like a plate of food. I am appreciative like I'm waking up, I have health, all these little things. I can go buy groceries, I can go buy medicine, and I don't
Mm.
have to like, be suppressed. I can talk. I can, talk on my social media whatever I feel like it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like super appreciative for everything this country has given me.
Is that what has inspired the tag on a unapologetic Rosie?
Yes, actually, that was funny because I used to have another name on my Instagram, and then right before all this started, on December 24th, I was like, I'm gonna change my name because this is gonna be like a new year, new me, and it's gonna be like I'm just gonna be unapologetic because like I am a lot of like I feel like also because of my background, I'm a lot of a perfectionist and a people pleaser. So it's like I always want to make sure that everybody is comfortable, whatever. But I was like, no, I need to also start being myself,
Mm.
and it's just being unapologetic and just speak up whatever I think is right. And this is how it blew up that video. I have
Yeah, I was
no
about
clue.
to say. I was actually going to, funnily enough, ask you, is it something, because it was your tag, I was thinking, have you always had that? Well, surely it must be related to everything that's going on now. So that's interesting to know that you changed it recently. How has your background shaped your political views?
Well, actually, I get mad whenever people is like, socialism is the way to go. Because I'm like, have you ever lived in socialism?
Mm.
Like, have you ever experienced what it's like to live in socialism? And 99% of the time, well, no, 100% of the time, these people is like, no, I've never been there. I don't know how it is. I don't know. So they find excuses on why it didn't work on XYZ country instead of researching or talking to the people from that country.
Mm.
Because I know a lot of Cuban people and they have the same situation and they've been on the same situation for the past 50 something years. So it's just crazy to me. I feel like definitely I don't support anything. If I hear any word related to socialism, my screen crawls in a bad way. I'm like, this is not the way. Like I need to like run the other way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, mm-mm.
I hear it. I hear it. But do you feel like now would you say that your political views are right-leaning or right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the US, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
how they'll
okay.
describe
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Because the only thing that I would say, because I get really annoyed when people bash Trump just to bash Trump. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like anything he does, it could be positive, and they'll still find a negative way to spin it. And it's
Yes.
realistically because it's becoming from a place of privilege. It's only because you're lucky that you're able to say the things that you can say. You're trying to demonize him for every single point because you're so wedded to being this leftist. But then the right's pretty much just as bad as well. Both sides are kind of bad as each other, where that's why I kind of, it's always better to listen, I find, to people that are more central left or central right or central,
Yeah.
because you can call
Yeah.
out both sides when they're chatting rubbish.
Yeah. And then when he has act in the wrong way or he does say things that I don't agree, I always say it too. It's not
Yeah.
that I'm like 100% supportive with everything that they support because there's some things that they have messed up too. We're all aware of it. But it's like, you know, also I feel like right now with everything going on, especially with Venezuela, is when like I've been trying to like speak up most because the people that comment on my videos or they actually ask me questions on the DMs, it's usually people from the left and they have their own ideas and they're like, oh, this is why this happened. And yeah, and it's like you guys shouldn't be celebrating. And I was like, okay, have you have you have you ever been to the point that you're so desperate for a plate of food that you don't think that you
How are
couldn't
they
even
going to have
like
such a
think?
strong opinion on you? This is where people have lost their mind, and it is this woke BS. I literally had an argument with my friend's girlfriend yesterday. It's happened like 2 or 3 times, and it was the time that happened before. It was a couple of years ago. It was some content that I made because I have a male self-improvement business, and I make points that are very, very balanced, and she didn't like the fact that I brought up like Andrew Tate's name. And I was saying how like both sides are not great for young men, how he's not great, and then someone from like that's very, very left is not great as well. And she's trying to have this argument with me, and I'm just trying to de-escalate it. But this just I don't know what it is, this new age thing where people feel like they have to give your opinion. I'm just like, I would never even do that the other way around. If I disagree with a video, I'm not messaging you about it. If I seen you in person, I might make a joke about it. That's about it. It's not bothering me. It's not phasing me. But this like wokey, like need to moan and cry and complain about everything or start arguments or try get really personal as well. It's always from that same type of person. I just think, what are you doing? Like, why? It's
Yeah,
just
they
so,
just
so
feel.
unnecessary. But yeah, in your situation, that's crazy to tell you what you should be thinking when you've
Yeah, and
actually
how
lived that
you
life.
should feel too. Don't forget how you should feel. Don't
Nuts.
forget that. So
Nuts.
it's like, they also call me like as that I don't know the history from the US, and I do know. I study everything that has happened in the past when they have done similar things. However, it's not the same situation, it's not the same countries, it's not the same presidents, it's not the same, so many different things and so many things that people don't realize. If you are like looking into geopolitics, there's so much more. There's not, they don't care about the oil. The oil is like the least on their minds. This is like geopolitics. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
is located Venezuela? How far of the US? It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours in a plane. Hello. There is so much more in here. There's
Of
minerals.
course. Of course. Of
I mean,
course.
who was taking over that territory? It was Russia and China. Do you
Yeah.
want your enemies right across like an hour and a half or 2 hours from you from Florida?
Yeah. So you kind of pretty much answered one of my questions actually earlier. Was do you think that Trump's realistically doing it for the Venezuelan people, or do you think he's got his own agendas at play? But you've slightly argued on it, but please do go on.
Yeah, like I feel like everybody has to benefit from it. I don't feel like anybody does anything for free anymore. Like this is like when you take a girl to a date. You're gonna pay for the date, but what are you expecting after the date? You know what I'm saying? This is what I tell everybody. Like you're expecting like a kiss, you're expecting her to hold your hand, you're expecting something. Well, he paid for
100%.
the date. Now he wants something
That's
from
true.
that date.
That's true.
So nobody does anything for free. You offer a service, you receive money in church, like in exchange of it.
Yeah, but
It's
do you think he genuinely feels bad for the Venezuelan people, or do you think it's more of a case that he's not doing it for us, but we are benefiting anyway?
I think he's just doing it for everybody's benefits. Yeah, like is it the Venezuelan people is a result of everything that is happening, but
Yes.
also he saw what a threat that could be for the US to
Yeah.
having also this is the country that supplies oil to all the communist countries. So if you cut the source, what's gonna happen? This year is about to a lot is about to happen.
We'll touch on that a little bit later because I've got some points of to refute about that. So tell me then, before we get into the Maduro madness, which we've already kind of delved into, how well, first things first, did you go quite a few nights then without having food?
If I experience that,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Every Venezuelan experience that. Every Venezuelan, like, yeah, like like your parents will make it like they'll try for you not to notice, but like let's say you before you were able to buy apples. Now you don't buy apples anymore. You don't
Mm.
have for apples. So it's like the same with like the little things. It was like the pads, like I remember like it was a certain point where like, we couldn't even find pads. So it's
Mm,
like, it's rough. Yeah, it's rough. Living that way is not easy. I mean, I will not recommend it for no one. I wouldn't even recommend it for my worst enemy, to be honest with you. Like, I have a friend, she posted these days. The problem is people talk, but a lot of them don't speak English. So it's hard to make the rest of the world understanding our point of
of
view because
course,
it's like you only speak in Spanish.
you
But
don't
like she
understand.
said that she had to boil a plantain and eat even from the outside of the plantain because she was so hungry. That's
Because I've
how
heard,
bad
yeah, I
it was.
remember. I know this is not the most nice topic to talk about, but I heard this was a thing, obviously, in poorer countries that because you mentioned the pads a few times, that women have to use towels and stuff like that.
Yeah, that happened.
Yes, that is not nice at all. So how did you get to Florida?
So I had some friends that I had already moved here, and I was like, okay, maybe I can go try there. So I got my visa, I got all my paperwork, and then I came over on a plane. I know a lot of people that they did come over crossing the border. And yep, I do have friends of that. Don't believe it or not, I do.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
Venezuelan
of
too.
course,
They did
of
all
course.
the thing. They did all the thing because they couldn't at a certain point, and it was like I think it was 2016 when they closed the U.S. embassy in Venezuela because it wasn't safe to have the U.S. because it's American people living in Venezuela. So it was like
Yeah,
this is a communist country. It's so hard, to even keep these people safe, and so they just decided to shut it down. The
wow.
U.S. embassy shut down. So you couldn't ask for a visa anymore. You couldn't ask for any ways for you to get it legally. So then what people start doing is out of being desperate, is to just cross the border and just go through all the thing, all the process.
So, question for you, because I had this kind of conversation with my friend, and it's so interesting about immigration and whatnot. And obviously, I know you mentioned that your views kind of go more towards the right side of things, and obviously, most people on the right are so anti-immigration, some even
Immigration.
against legal immigration. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, I am very much against illegal immigration, even in the UK. Like in the UK, we had 1 million people come across, and our checks are worse in the US. They're so soft, and it's not a lot of women and babies and children. It's usually men, mostly because they're just physically bigger and able to get across. But we're not getting people's best. And I do see how that's problematic. You can't have that in a country that's 63, 64 million, you know? Um, but on the other hand, I do understand it because I'm like, okay, well, a lot of those countries the UK colonized, left it to crap, and then you're moaning that people then want to come into the country. So it's a bit of a toss up for me. So I don't really like it when I hear super right guys like, oh yeah, like why did they even come into the country? They're doing this. They're like, if it's a country that you've actually taken a lot of minerals from. I don't think you should be so on your high horse speaking from a position of privilege. Obviously, you're entitled to your view, but I do think it sometimes lacks a little bit of awareness. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
So I am against illegal immigration. I am. But the people that I do know that they have done that, they have gone through a process that they give you papers because you cross the border and then you talk to the immigration person, whatever. Then they give you like one of those trackers when you go to jail. And then you gotta go to court X amount of time, let's say once a month. And then you give papers so you can work, so you can pay taxes. I am 100% down for that as long as you keep track of these people that is closing the border. They are paying taxes, so they are not just taking advantage of the system, and they are doing everything that a regular citizen, is doing. They're not breaking the law. I think that that's great. Immigration like that, good at that point of legal immigration. But if you're just crossing the border and you never pay taxes, you don't report yourself to the government, that you don't do anything of the other steps, and you make that decision that you're just gonna live legally, that I don't agree with it, because then you go to the hospitals and then you don't pay your bill and you don't have any social security number, so how are they going to track you? So many, like, the little things. So it's like, who's paying for those bills for your
Yeah.
hospital? Is it
Facts.
me that I'm paying
Yeah.
for the taxes?
Facts. Yeah. Big facts.
So it's like,
And so do you know people in that situation who have done it the complete illegal way?
they're completely legal, no.
Oh, the complete
But
illegal. You know people that have done
no.
the little.
But the other way,
Yeah.
yes, I've known. And then this girl that I know, she was on a jail for like, I think it was 3 months. And then after that, she had to pay a bill. You pay the bill, and then you go present yourself to the court once
Yeah.
a month or twice a month or whatever they tell you to go. And they have one of those ankle bracelets for like a year or so, and then after that, yeah, it's like a whole process.
So do you have a criminal record then?
I don't know if they do. I don't know, just because they are crossing illegally.
Probably have to give some sort of fingerprints or something like that though.
Yes, I think it's because like they come and ask for asylum at the border is different.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So,
What was I going to ask you? Oh, regarding food. Now you're obviously a fitness competitor. What was that like then, having to, up your calories so much when, at one stage it was a struggle to get food?
well, I was in bodybuilding, thankfully, over there, because if not, I could not be able to bodybuild. With how much I eat, I could not be able to afford that much food. Definitely. Like, I eat like something's like more than a guy. So it's like I can't, like, I could never achieve like that bodybuilding look. I could
Of
never
course,
over
of course. How did you find the transition though?
there. Like the transition when I moved here and it
Well, the
being able.
transition from not being able to eat food to then eating more than a guy, as you say, to getting
Yes.
from
So
stage
in
shape.
that sense, I feel blessed. Listen, I feel blessed I'm able to do all this. So I just do what I gotta do for my goals, and I just eat how much I'm supposed to eat.
Get it done.
But I just feel like very thankful and blessed. Like I'm a very also religious person. I go to church every Sunday, and I thank God for everything, every plate of food, everything. I thank God
Nice.
every day.
Christian.
I am Catholic, actually.
Catholic. Okay, cool. Um, and what was the difference then between you being able, because I'm sure everyone would like to do it the super legal way if they could. What was the difference of how you were able to do it the, completely above board way compared to other people that had to do it the slightly dodgy way?
So the difference is that I got lucky that the U.S. embassy was open in Venezuela.
Oh, because it was before 2016.
Yes, I got
Ooh,
lucky because I got my visa on the end of 2015. So I got right there. I got my visa. I know it was God's plan. It was God's plan, because if
literally.
not, I wouldn't have made it. That is the difference between me and that people. And you definitely, when you apply, you have to, put some money and this and that. It's like a whole process. It's not like easy as people say, but you can make it happen. Definitely.
Hmm.
Everybody, if you have the embassy in that country, yeah, you can make it happen.
Cool. Probably a bit of, I probably know the outcome to this question, especially seeing a couple of the clips that surface, but let's ask it for the audience. So, what was your initial reaction to Maduro getting captured?
Oh, I was so happy. I was crying of happiness. I couldn't believe it, because I woke up that day and I see my family is still over there. I have family there. I see my mom call me, and she's like, "The U.S. is here. Like, everything is happening." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "There's no way." I wake up, turn on the news. Every channel is talking about Venezuela. Everybody. I call my mom. I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "We're fine. Everything is fine." It was in and out. It was like, and mind you,
2 hours and 20 minutes.
yes, it was in and out. And they did what they came to do when they left. Nobody was injured, nobody, nothing. Mind you, not even the military, from the army, Venezuelan army, because the Venezuelan army, you also got to remember, they're not trained to go to war. The Venezuelan army is just to use it against the people of Venezuela.
I think there was 100 though that died, but most of them were Cuban.
Yeah, no, that's not what it will actually happen.
Mm,
And that is funny because they keep inflating the numbers, and of course, the Venezuelan government will keep inflating the numbers.
yeah,
They want to like lie about it, and they control the news over there too as well. So
yeah, sure.
also, since they control the news, is like they control the narrative of
Yeah.
everything. But
Okay.
they're not trained to fight any war. They're trained to suppress the people. And so these people, these army people, saw that they were trying to grab Maduro and whatever, and it was like the U.S. Army. They dropped their guns, and there is videos of them going into the houses of the civilians near, because they got scared because they thought that they were gonna die.
Really? No
Yeah,
way.
and then a lot of people that join the army over there, they don't join the army because they want to protect the government. They join the army because they don't have food. In this way, there is a way to like actually get like a plate of food every day. So it's like,
Yeah.
do you want to starve or you maybe want to join the army?
Yeah, of course, got it. And so he's been in charge. So a lot of people obviously think that he's been in charge, I think, 3 terms. And the US believe that, you can correct me where I'm wrong. The US believe that I think they only don't recognize three political parties. One is in Belarus, one is Taliban, and one is Maduro, which is definitely saying something. So they don't see him as the president. Um, but yeah, how was his reign, I guess, in charge compared to other people from the same political party?
So he's been the president since Chavez died, and that was on 2008, 2012. I don't
Wow.
remember the exact year. So he's been the same president. So he has run multiple times because, again, they control the law. So they can change the constitution. So, oh, I'm going to run. We can be president for 10 times. Okay. And then once this 10 times run over, okay, we can be 11 times. So it's like, and then you keep changing the constitution to whatever you like. So
Yes.
technically, you're not breaking the law,
Yeah.
right? But also they did not recognize him for this last presidency because for a first time, the opposition of Venezuela, which was this woman Maria Corina Machado, which she won the Nobel Prize recently, actually, she had proof. She had proof that they had cheated the elections, and she showed this proof everywhere in the international law. Everybody knew that, hey, this were the results. He lost, and the people talk, and he lost. Like, there is no doubt here. And then nothing happened. We were protesting. Even the people outside of the country were protesting. Because I remember I went to several protests over here in Florida,
Mm.
and nothing happened. Like, well, I don't know where was the international law there. I don't know where it was. I don't know where it was. All these people that is protesting right now because they were not protesting with us when they stole our elections. But yeah, so then none of the other governments were recognizing him as president because he didn't win the elections. We didn't vote for
Yeah.
him. That guy is not our president.
What's happened to that other political leader now? Is she in a position to potentially take over? Because I know at the moment it's still Maduro's party in charge, right?
Yes. So the vice president right now is Delcy Rodriguez, which this woman is the worst woman ever in the whole world. She will be the one that will be torturing people.
Oh, audio's gone. Audio has gone. I do not know why. Can you still hear me? Cool. Oh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, got you back.
Okay. So this woman that is in charge right now, her name is Delcy Rodriguez, and she's the worst woman ever. She used to torture the political prisoners and enjoy it. She watched it.
Lost you again.
Let me just use my. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm not even using the speaker.
Um, Delcy Rodriguez is the lady that literally enjoy watching all the political prisoners getting tortured. Like she will watch and enjoy it and laugh when they are torturing people that is against the government. She will like go and watch us. She's crazy. This woman is just something else.
See, guys, women are just as bad as men. Men are bad, women are
Yeah,
bad. You get bad people. It's not all just.
yeah. She's just crazy. I'm being serious. And then there's a lot of rumors about that she's the one that gave Trump the exact location of where Maduro was. But also, I think, me
Mm,
personally, I think what Trump is doing or what the US government is doing right now is playing the cards that they need to play. Because even if they change the president right now to Maria Corina, to the lady that won the elections,
mhm.
this won't do anything because they still handle everybody that approved the law. They handle the Congress. They handle the Assembly. They handle everything. They even handle the elections. So, okay, let's go run elections again. And then they trick the elections again. Or, okay, she wants to change the law to something normal. Like, okay, now they can only run one period, like 5 years, and that's it. The president cannot run again. What is the people that approve the law gonna say? No, because they control it. So in this sense, it's like, okay, I have this one woman that is on their side, and I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna say, okay, whatever she says goes, which is what has been happening. You know how many times the government people say that they will never sell oil to the US, that they will never let them sell oil. Look what is happening now. They're selling oil. They're doing
Yeah,
all those things that they were like, no, we're not gonna do. But this woman is
yeah.
like, no, we're gonna do this, and they're like, okay, we're doing it just because comes from the same people.
But do you not think that the US could just overthrow the whole party that's in charge and put this their all their own people in, surely, if they wanted to?
They could, but it's also tricky because look how much hate he has gotten just because of one man. Imagine if he went and took like the five people that is like the five pillars of this government. You know how hard it would be in the US too, and also in the perspective of the war.
Mm. Yeah, but isn't it like from what you're saying, and this is a question I wanted to ask you, it seems like it's very much 50-50. And that also goes on to my other point of the fact that why, if you're explaining it how you see it, and so many people are struggling, and we've seen the videos of people super happy that he's being captured. Why are there so many people that see it the other way?
They see it the other way because they're ignorant. There's no other response to that. Like I've literally, but there is people that also is willing to listen that they were against it at the beginning, and like I've had people on my DMs asking me and be like, "Listen, I was in favor, I was against him taking Maduro, but now like I'm watching your videos, I'm listening to you. Like I explain to people, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. It's not that we are in war. Also, a lot of people here, especially in the US, and I don't know how it's in other countries, but like a lot of people here go protest just because they see something on Reddit, and I can write on Reddit. Like anybody can write on Reddit, right? And they say, hey, the US is in war with Venezuela. Well, this is not the reality. The US is not in war with Venezuela.
No, of course not.
Venezuela, like, is fine. Like, if you, like, right now, actually, they're good. They have internet, they can communicate, they're good. Like, nobody died, nothing happened. And then it started on Saturday. On Monday, everybody was doing their job, going to work and living their lives. You know what I'm saying? So, there is no war. So whatever you read on Reddit is not 100% accurate. So the thing is like is a lot of misinformation, also a lot of like misinformation within like social media or actresses or even the freaking singers. Also, they listen to that. It's like, why are you listening to the singers? Why don't you listen to like why don't you research? That's the
Because they
problem.
just say it's people. It's realistically, the problem is it's people that love Trump and hate Trump. From people that aren't in Venezuela, that's realistically what it is.
That
And
is the
whatever he
problem.
does if you love Trump, then you're gonna think it's the best thing ever, and you think he's realistically doing it for the Venezuelan people. And yes, well, people that are more educated understand the geopolitical reasons and whatnot, and the oil. And then the other side of things, they just think it's Trump trying to take over the world, evil dictator, next Hitler, blah blah blah, and yeah, it's just ridiculous. And the
Yeah.
truth is always usually somewhere down the middle.
Yes, yes. And like honestly, also like yeah, that whole thing with Trump is like he says go drink water, everybody's just gonna go drink Clorox because he said go drink water. That is a thing too that we've seen in like it's like, oh, they just changed the food thing, the pyramid. And it's like now just eat real food. Oh, now people's like, oh, how am I gonna believe this? Okay, what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Common sense. Just do your research.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But it's so easy that I did my research. I didn't know anything about this a couple of weeks ago. I've sat there and done my research, and it's very easy to understand why. But people don't want to do that anymore. People just want to get upset if it doesn't align with their political party or their viewpoints or the way they see the world. They don't want to do it. They just want to react emotionally. And that's the problem. We're in this really emotional generation at this
Yes,
moment in time.
yes.
Um, so. What is your honest take on Trump stealing the oil resources?
He ain't gonna steal the oil. Like, I mean, even if he does, because he's like,
But
well, even if he does, how much benefit were we getting before from the oil? Honestly, like that's the price to pay. We are willing
yeah,
to do it because in reality, if these people that are maybe eating one meal a day or nothing, um, can eat 2 meals a day, this is a win for us. You know what I'm saying? It's
hmm
yeah, Venezuela has so much oil and this and that. Okay, hold on. Let me just go rush for the oil barrels that are under my bed over there. Like we don't we don't benefit from it.
you're not seeing nothing from it.
Yeah, so the only people that was benefit from it was the people that is from the government that actually live like, a whole different life. They have great clothes. They eat all their meals. They can buy food. They can buy anything they need because they have the money from the oil. But and even like people other countries were benefited from it before like China, Cuba, and also Russia. And it's like what do we care if the United States want to benefit from it and want to freedom us as the result of it? We're good with that, you
Yeah,
know.
got ya. How bad is the drug trade out there? Because that's a big thing that the Trump administration has made out. And look, I hear where you're coming from with a lot of things. From my own research, they're making a big meal out of it than it actually is. But you tell me, as somebody that's on the ground or been on the ground and lived there.
So the government of Venezuela well, this government has always been involved with the drug cartels,
Yeah,
and but they have their own cartel, which actually is called Cartel de los Soles, which
I
is
heard
the
of it.
most cartel of the Los Soles that everybody been talking about.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, or yeah, when it was President Biden time, they led a lot of the Cartel de los Soles in Colorado because everybody was crossing the border and then nothing was getting followed through.
hmm
So Colorado was getting crazy. And with the drugs, with the people raping, with a lot of like insecurity over there. So it was rough. I read a lot of things also, but I will say this government did that just because they also wanted to all the Venezuelans that are here because you got to remember also in the US there's a lot of political asylum going on because of a lot of people that went against the government. They had to leave, flee the country. So a lot of people is here, and they were trying to get a lot of these Venezuelans um, removed from the US so they can go back to Venezuela and they can put them in jail, etc., etc., torture them, kill them, whatever, disappear them. So yeah, they do have a lot of involvement on that Cartel de los Soles. Also,
Sorry, just a button there because I just want to make sure I got that correct. So it was the cartel that wanted to take them back, or was it the political party that wanted to take them back?
Well, the cartel is with the government. They're
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. So they were acting on their behalf.
Yes, correct.
Got
Yeah,
you.
they're
And
one.
Biden was allowing it to happen in your opinion.
Correct. And they're the ones that, if you actually research a little more, and I don't know if you knew when President Biden was on his time, he released three of the Celia Flores familia, like three of the people that is from her family, from Celia Flores, which is Maduro's wife, because they were caught with cocaine trafficking. This is her own family, the family of the president, well, caught with cocaine trafficking across borders. So yes, they are pretty much involved with the whole cartels and the drugs and everything. This is her family, like her close family, her nieces. So in some news, it's her nieces because she doesn't want to admit those are her kids, but it's like back and forth. And they're like, oh, well, her kids, well, whatever. They're her family. They got released. They were caught with cocaine. They got released during Biden time because they were gonna release all their prisoners that were in Venezuela and other political prisoners. Well, they never released the political prisoners, but they did, the U.S. did release the family of Celia Flores, which is Maduro's wife.
Let me ask you a question though. Just to play devil's advocate, so I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but let's say they're her nieces. Does that mean that's a strong tie if her nieces want to go traffic drugs?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like, yeah, it is because she even the government from Venezuela advocate for them to get released.
Oh yeah, but they all do that, don't they? They all do that. Look at
I
Hunter
don't know.
Biden.
I don't know. And
Look at
also,
Trump getting like pardoned himself basically for all the charges that he has against him. You're gonna if one of your family members has done something slightly wrong and you have that much power, you're probably gonna be like, do you know
no,
what?
you are the president. You also got to take a look up. It was, is this gonna look back on me?
I know, but they all do it, don't they? Realistically,
Maybe. But yeah,
they
they're
all
very
do.
much involved with the whole cartel, the whole drugs, everything. And that's how also they have been able to live such a like crazy lifestyle because before they were able to travel all the time, have amazing cars, have amazing clothes. Like their watches are like 50, 60, $70,000 watches. And you'll see them and you're like, how is this guy even? Yeah, you're stealing money from the government, but you're also taking money from the cartel and you also are doing all these little things. And also, this is why um, the government from Colombia was supporting the government from Venezuela because they have also secret deals with all the drugs and everything that's happening. Yeah, they don't create the drugs in Venezuela, but they for sure distribute the drugs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing though. When I look at the, research of realistically who's, got the highest percentage of drug export into the US, Venezuela's pretty low down on the list compared
Yeah,
to Mexico, not even close. Colombia, second. And then you even got places like Peru and Bolivia that are still above Venezuela. So that, from being balanced, that
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
that
got
just doesn't wash with me. I know it's just complete,
yeah, no,
complete
and
BS.
it's fine. I mean, that is, but it is. The thing is, like, this government has acted such a good way that people is like, wow, like, like, is this the drug thing is for real? It is for real. It's happening. It's been happening for years, but now it's like finally, like, they're cutting certain things. They also had to. They just dropped some charges about it because they don't have that much proof of him
Mhm.
being the head of the cartel, like they were
Mhm.
saying at the beginning. They do have proof that he's involved with the cartels.
Okay.
So
Because that could even be stuff like protection and stuff like that, realistically. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising me. Um, what's it like, as in like living their day to day? Are there lots of gangs and stuff like that, or is it relatively safe?
I was like, well, Caracas, where I'm from, it was actually like the third worst city in the whole world, like the most dangerous one. Yeah. So it's like you go out, you cannot go out with like certain clothes because you'd be like, people would like be like, oh my God, she got money or something like
Mm.
shoes or whatever. They'll take your shoes off and they'll like just kill you for your phone. If they want to get your phone, they'll kill you just to grab your phone. There's a lot of people that die just because they were stealing their phones. It's
Wow.
just, yeah, it's dangerous. It's not like an easy city. It's not like, well, let me just go walk around and just
I was
show.
gonna say, what
Like,
like can you not? can you not party there and stuff like that? Do you not party
No,
in the capital?
it's not safe. Like a lot of people just go out until like 6 or 7 p.m. and then after that is like desert, like a desert. Like there is nothing going on because it's not safe. I mean, and then you gotta also remember there's not a lot of people that have cars over there, like a vehicle, your own vehicle, because you cannot afford to have a car. And so it's just like you walking around. There's no public transportation after like 6:30. It's like
Where where do people party? Because I'm trying to think of people obviously go to South America. Like I went to Mexico and Brazil for my birthday, 30th, had the best time ever. However, my friend has traveled all of South America, like a lot of European people do. And he went to Venezuela and yeah, he went on this bus tour and supposedly nothing had happened for 2 years and he thought, oh, do you know what? I'll be all right. And then yeah, people came, robbed him at gunpoint. Something happened to two of the girls because the two girls didn't hand in their phone like everybody else did, and that was nuts to me to hear
yeah.
one of my best mates have been in such a crazy situation. So what do people not? Where do tourists and stuff go?
I mean, there's not a lot of tourism over there. And if you are like a smart tourist, you shouldn't go to Venezuela. Not right now. Um, because it's not worth it. I mean, you're risking your life for what? Like there is so many tourists that die over there just because like yeah, they want to go party and live like experience. I get it. Like believe me, I get it. Like we're young, we want to adventure and we want to do something different. But no, I mean, there is no a safe place where you can go party. Like unless you know somebody and they're gonna do something on their house,
Yeah.
then everybody's supposed to stay at that house because you're not supposed to go out at night. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're looking for danger. So yeah.
See, I didn't have a clue about this because I've been to Brazil and I partied in the favelas. And I was like, this is fine. This is nowhere near as bad as people make out, but this place is sounding mad.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta be careful in Venezuela, definitely. But no, I will not. I will not go party there.
Okay, that's good to know. Um, I won't be going to Venezuela at any point now. Um, regarding the attack itself, and I know which way your views lean towards. However, on the grander scale, do you think the attack on the president and basically kidnapping him and his wife, do you think it was justified legal action or a violation of national sovereignty?
It was justified. This is
Hmm.
not new. He been Trump have been trying to talk to Maduro since September and told him to surrender,
Yep.
told him to please just leave the spot of being a president of Venezuela because he didn't win the elections. So many things. Trump has talked to him for since September.
Yeah.
Like this happened on January. Like he gave him like 4 whole months for him to like find a plan, for him to talk, for him to like, get in a middle ground.
Well, a lot of people thought
I
he
don't
was
know.
gonna A lot of people thought he was gonna what's it called? There's a word for it. Not is it extradite? Or find asylum in Russia or Cuba, I believe, because obviously both very communist countries that the US wouldn't have been able to do anything about. But a lot of people thought that was going to be his plan, but he didn't. He stuck there and thought he'd be fine.
No, and then the other thing is like they stopped like he has a lot of bank accounts with a lot of money and all that. And then I think that they also put a stop on his money. So I don't know if that's why he couldn't reach all this that he wanted to accomplish, like going to Cuba or something like that. But
Hmm.
it's like he been talking to them. So no, it was very much said since September. So if they don't listen, that's on them, you know?
Mm. So do you see where the left in particular might be coming from in seeing that, stripping a foreign president is a dangerous precedent to set across the world, or no?
I get it where they're coming from. I get all of it. Believe me, I listen, I read, I inform myself. I just don't read the comments, but I'm like also like I research.
Yeah.
Um, I understand their point, but also I think that this is something that they planned really well. So yeah, it was dangerous, but really it wasn't because they don't know that the people that actually is like the army people from Minnesota, they're not trained to go to war. they're not
Yeah.
trained for this. So, like the US will like whoop their asses in like 5 seconds. But I get it.
Literally.
Get where they're saying, I get there that they are afraid that now this is gonna happen everywhere in all the countries. It's not like that. But I do think this is good that the other presidents are getting scared. And I will say why. Because if you do not behave correctly and you're not doing good for your people, you should go to prison. Goodbye. Like, bye.
Yeah,
Or break the law.
you got
Because,
also yeah, but you also got to understand, yeah, that like don't think it won't happen the other way around. So, for example, if you, I know this is a complete different country, but Burkina Faso have President Traore that's in charge, and he's doing like a tremendous job realistically because he's the first guy that's just not that they've put in charge that's not accepting European help. And he's done so much. He's built two airlines and he's brought all this money into the country and is actually keeping the wealth in Africa. But like the other political party have tried to like he's a young guy and he's had so many attempts on his life. He actually just survived another attempt on his life. We're talking probably in the 20s now. So many times. Because obviously the other political party, they have help from France, maybe even the US. So they've got all the resources and people that are just willing to take the money. So it does happen on both sides.
yeah, it can happen both ways. But
But in this situation, I
in
heard
this
it.
situation, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Colombian people, like I have so many people from Colombia. Now
Yeah.
they're scared
Yeah.
because the president wants to change the law and he wants to run again. So here we go again, Venezuela 2.0. Because then they were like, oh, we're not Venezuela. And I was like, yeah, and we used to say we're not Cuba. And here's where we are. And then so you guys say you're not Venezuela. And this is like a revolving door. The story
Mm.
is repeating themselves. Like. So yeah, I get it what everybody's coming from and I get every point of view. But also, I mean, on this, it was a long overdue. A long
Yeah.
overdue. Also, the geopoliticals, we can't fight that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't.
And yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's why, again, I get a bit frustrated when people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to even the Russia-Ukraine war. And people are going to probably hate me for saying this. The reason why it came about is because NATO took three countries that they agreed not to take when they made an agreement, however many, I can't remember the exact treaty that it was. And Russia, for whatever the reason, they feel like Crimea, which is part of Ukraine, is their sovereign state. And
Hmm.
obviously, realistically, they probably want the whole of Ukraine. But it was in retaliation to what NATO had done. And I'm somebody that lives in NATO, but you have to just do, it doesn't take loads and loads of research. You just got to like come outside your worldview and actually look at the reasons what's led to it. And you'll find the answer. So when people are so quick, oh, Trump's not doing enough, or the UK's needs to be stepping up more money. What money has America got at the moment? America, LA is in so much poverty. The UK as well. Our NHS system is struggling huge amounts. There's three nurses to 100 patients. Our train systems, there's always strikes. There's so much civil unrest that's going on in the UK. You've got to understand the reason to these things, as opposed to just reacting because you don't like somebody.
Correct. Correct. I
Yeah.
agree with on those. And then I had a lot of people from the UK too, like saying that they have commenting and they are saying that they're not on a good spot, which is like then I start researching about it and I'm like, wow, like this is crazy how everything that is happening. And also, if you don't research, if you don't look, the news, at least from here, it's just the news of what happening here. There's not
I
the
mean,
news word unless you.
yeah. But that's the reason why you need to speak to people, and that's why I'm so happy that you're on the podcast. But I do think that the US have definitely sensationalized a lot of what's going on in the UK. Like it's not great, but it's not as bad as they make out. They're like, you walk the streets of London and you're gonna get attacked. I'm out every single weekend in London, Friday and a Saturday, and it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Like most people are fine. The vast majority of us are fine. Are there a few attacks? It's usually gang on gang violence, if anything, so you don't see it. So it is a bit sensationalized, and Elon Musk coming up with comments, "Oh, the UK is in civil unrest," and even Joe Rogan. I'm like, all right, guys, you've been watching too many videos. What you're talking about and your life experience in Venezuela, no, that is bad, and you can't go out. Like this
Yeah.
is not like that at all. But there are social tensions at this moment in time, but it's not like everybody's in the street fighting each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
that's okay. You don't always gonna agree. I mean, it's fine to have different thoughts and different views in life. That is good. That is what life is supposed to be. We're not supposed to
Yeah.
all think the same. We're just supposed to like educate ourselves, read,
Agreed.
look. It's like because you have like 7 degrees doesn't mean that you are the smartest person either. Because then you just don't read the news, you don't inform yourself, you don't research, you don't look, then we have a
Yeah,
problem.
I
But
agree.
yeah, definitely.
And the university system is tailored towards the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you can be super, super book smart, but you might be completely illogical.
Mm-hmm.
That could take me into different discussions that we don't need to go down, I guess. So do you think it's fine for a foreign nation to get involved in somebody else's politics if it's for the greater good?
Yes, I think
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
I am 100% on it. And I mean, I wanted to know where was the international law that everybody's just mentioning right now when we didn't have any, when they were killing the Venezuelan people because we were protesting. Or when we won the elections and we had the proofs and nobody did anything, you know?
yeah. I think people just make up international law as it goes along. We've seen
Yeah,
the whole
the
recent war.
international law. I was like, oh, where was all these laws when we were being killed? Because we had a different opinion.
100%. We've seen the, let's say, current wars of the last 2 years, which completely, you know, went against international law, and no one did anything about it realistically. So,
They just say, hey, we're not agree with this. Okay, nobody else does anything.
yeah, exactly. What do you think about Trump taking over Greenland?
Oh, I keep reading about it, but sometimes it's hard to take him seriously because he's just laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing while you say this thing? It's like, this is why people don't take you seriously. It's like you're making a joke because I'm gonna take over Greenland.
He's so, I can't lie, he is probably top five comedians of all time.
Yes, like he's crazy in no sense because I'm like, why would you even like say it like that? Like you gotta talk seriously or people like won't take it seriously because like it's like they don't like I don't even know when he's talking for real, when he's like joking sometimes. So the whole thing with Greenland is like I did see that yesterday they had a whole meeting with the president and everything. The president he what I'm thinking and what I'm reading too is that he wants to take over because of geopolitics as well. Because
100%.
they have certain bases over there from like China and all that stuff. But also, people are saying that we also got to watch out for Alaska because, the whole thing with the geopolitics as well. But it's like, I don't really know if it will take over Greenland or not. That is a mystery to me because sometimes I think he's joking for real. But
Yeah.
sometimes he talks very seriously, and I'm like,
Well, you could argue that he was joking about Venezuela. He wasn't joking about that one.
yeah, and then
It
like
makes you
so
laugh
now,
when he said, "Gun."
yeah, so now I'm like, is it gonna for real try to take over? Because the people from Greenland is saying that they don't want to be part of the U.S.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That is the difference. The people from Venezuela, if you ask any Venezuelan, they tell you you want to be part of the U.S. Yeah, I'll be the first one right there with the U.S. flag, right there. Just give me everything. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the people from Greenland is another different story because they are like vocally saying they do not wish to be part of anything with the US.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. He is funny though. It made me laugh when he was like, yeah, he gets asked a question like, "What are you gonna do with the oil? Like, you're just gonna keep it?" He's like, yeah, we'll keep it. Yeah, we'll keep
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Yeah, we
keep
might even
it.
sell it.
Yeah, we'll buy it or whatever. He wants to buy it. This is what he was saying yesterday, and I was what? So this is why some people just hate him because he just jokes around too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he said that he'll reimburse, but then I read something else where it said because the oil companies have been getting robbed, that was going to be like compensation, and
We'll see what happened with
we'll
Greenland,
see what happens.
literally, but this year is a lot to come. I feel
Would
like,
you would you feel that people misunderstand that you'd really like to get out there about Latin people and what Venezuelan society is really like?
what is Venezuelan society really like? I was like, wow, there's a question.
That is a question. What
Um,
we don't understand because we don't have a clue. Like Venezuela, I'm sure this is probably the first time a lot of people are talking about Venezuela in their first, in their lifetime.
yeah, so something that they don't understand anything about Venezuela because I really talk about it, and then people sometimes think I'm lying. Like, we don't have food, we don't have medicine, we are not able to, we're not able to speak up, we're not able to talk in social media as well. We're not, if you watch a TV, you open the TV, like, and you don't have cable at home, there is a freaking president for like 4 or 6 hours talking and brainwash you. So it's like a lot of things that is involving the Venezuelan society. It's like
Do you,
literally imagine it's a Sunday and you want to watch a movie, you turn on the TV and there is a president talking for 4 to 6 hours how good he is and how good this government is for all of us.
do
And
you not
brain
have movies?
and you're a kid. You're a kid. So mind you, you're a kid. You don't know what's good and what's wrong in life.
Yeah,
So you're
indoctrinated.
thinking that this is what it is. You're thinking that life is supposed to be this way. That
Mm,
life is like you should be grateful for what you have. The one shampoo that you can buy when you can buy it.
mm.
Because life is rough. So you don't know anything unless your parents teach you. But
Crazy.
like imagine how crazy it is. They'll brainwash the kids like if they turn on the TV.
And that's the reason why he still does have half the support that he does.
He doesn't have half of the support, but he does have still support from the people from the government. And I mean, we will say a lot of poor people is the people that support the left. And I don't want to sound classist or anything like that, but that's how it is. The more uneducated you are, the more likely you are to like the left because you feel like you gotta put less effort. The government will give you everything. You will have free healthcare. Yeah, you have free healthcare at what cost? Because you go to the hospitals, there is nothing for you to get treated on.
Really.
So why do I care about free health if I cannot enjoy the health? The same with the universities. We still had great free universities until this government took over. And then now those universities, they don't get funded. If you go to those universities, the bathrooms don't work. The teachers sometimes don't go to work and they don't teach you because you don't have, they haven't paid them. Sometimes
So
you got
not
like you gotta even like I have friends that went to university over there or college, whatever you want to call it, and they had to bring like supplies to the teachers for them to show up, like toilet paper or soap or whatever. Like imagine it's like, oh, for me to like receive any like type of education, let me just bring some toilet paper to my teacher today.
damn, I feel so privileged, man. I remember uni being the best years of my life. We were just out 4 times a week, meeting people, having the best times ever. And this is the struggle that is going on in other countries. That's nuts. There was a woman called Yomni Park. I was actually just researching it. I remember listening to her whole life story about escaping North Korea, going to South Korea, going to China, and all the things that happened to her, which was really, really bad. Her and her mum, and splitting up for her parents, and so many checkpoints to get to the US. Um, and yeah, it's just mad. It's not as bad. It sounds a little bit worse about what's going on in Venezuela, but in terms of just the kind of indoctrination, not being completely silent, being like pretty sheltered. And now what can you, is it so difficult now then to get from Venezuela to the US?
Well, there is no direct flights anymore.
There's no,
Direct flights, so you cannot take one flight. You have to take like multiple flights to come to the US. And that's one of the things that they're trying to do. They're trying to like have one fly, like American Airlines now is gonna fly to Venezuela, which is great. We didn't have that in the past like 10 years. And I mean, besides that, yeah, there's no direct flight. I mean, sometimes you gotta like the flight connections. It's like you gotta be in the airport for like 24 hours. Those are the type of the flight connections because they don't want all these people coming over too. I get that part too. It's like you don't know what you're gonna get, blah blah blah. So it's like
Yeah, but how easy is it actually just getting from Venezuela to America now? I know, obviously, in your days, you mentioned with the embassy, it was seemed quite easy. Now, is it really
now
difficult?
now we had to see how it evolves. But right now there is they said that they're gonna open the U.S. embassy
Okay,
this year, so that's a progress. However, if you do want to apply for a visa, depending on which visa, you have to pay a certain amount of money, which is way more money than before. Um, but it's like before you weren't even able, like this past 10 years, you weren't even able to get a visa in Venezuela. So now you're getting able, but you gotta put some money, put some money down, and they are accommodating. Like yesterday, there were like news, and I know my sources. I still have people in Venezuela, so they were doing some. They were using and cleaning the U.S. embassy over there. So there, it's coming.
okay,
It
that's good.
it is coming.
Like we need the South Americans. We need the South American Latinos in the US. Is it a lot more, you always hear this passport bro movement. Is it a lot more other women well, I've obviously been, but not to Venezuela, a lot more traditional than the US? Or no?
I feel like it depends. It's like here or like everywhere. It's like you have like the people that is more outgoing and you have the people that is more quiet.
Sure.
But I mean, that goes personality to personality. It's the same as here. I feel like it. But yeah, like you get raised in a different way where like you're more family oriented than I feel like here.
Yeah. Which you'll get in that type of environment.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So, with Maduro gone, but his political party still in charge, are the Venezuelans better off at this moment in time or not?
I mean, yeah, because this is like everybody just wants to celebrate. They haven't been able yet. We're waiting for this whole transition to happen. We have hope once the transitions all, smooth out and we'll see. But I mean, as long as like they can still, like I said, Venezuela and Caracas, nothing is going on. Like they're fine, you
Yeah,
know, like it's nothing, crazy. But once they start actually putting money in all these oil companies are gonna start investing over there, and they put like the direct flights, and they are putting more money towards the country and towards what is supposed to be put in. I think just there's like a lot of good things that we're gonna come up with this.
but why do you think they're going to put so much money into the country? Why do you think
Because
that's going to
they wanna put this country also to work. They wanna also like if you think about it, if the US is gonna handle the money, which I am agreeing 100% that the US handle the money, so the government of Venezuela don't keep stealing it, they're gonna benefit from everything. Tourism, they're gonna benefit from the minerals, they're gonna benefit from the oil, from everything that's going on. So if Venezuela gets better, the US is gonna also benefit from all these little things. Also, now, and I have my own like things is like this year, since they cut the main source of oil for all these communist countries, what's gonna happen with these countries? Countries like Cuba,
You're
like
going to say they're going to become more, they're going to have to become dependent on the US.
yes.
But on the other side of things, because the people thought, do you have you looked at it from the other coin of things that this is actually a victory for China? Because if you think about it, the last time China was in a war was the Vietnam War, which was over 50 years ago, pretty much now. And for other countries that are trying to decide Russia/China, specifically China, or the US, it's just making China look like the good guy because they're not getting involved in wars, from what it seems like. It's a pretty big win for them if you look at it from a geopolitical
If you want to
stance.
take a look at that, but also people don't know that there was a lot of places in Venezuela that China and Russia were taking over. Like Venezuelan people were not able to go in.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But that's what I'm saying. People don't know that, you know?
Yeah, people don't
They
know that.
see it as Trump's a
People have
bad
to
guy because
know it.
they've taken the president. So it does look, it looks looks. I'm just trying to say how it
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
So whereas China is just sitting there pretty going, oh, okay, this isn't actually that bad for us because what a lot of people don't realize is China's so far ahead of the game when it comes to solar. They're so far ahead of the game when it comes to renewable energy. They don't need Venezuela for oil. They actually don't. They generate enough energy as well by themselves. Like they're good.
Yeah.
So as much as people, it seems like it's a win for the US. Like it is in the short term, but is it going to be a win in the long term? I think that's the bigger picture, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's what they supposedly they're gonna use some of the resources also that they are in Venezuela, like the natural resources, to develop all these things that China was doing and developing.
Mm.
They know
Yeah.
that they have. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, China is always gonna look like China, and people is always gonna think that this is like they're perfect or whatever. But if people want to believe what they want to believe, some people just think that hey, this is a way. And the left also, you gotta think about it, they have more money than even the right, which is kind of odd when you think about it, but they do have more money and more support. Like even the news here, the freaking New York, forgot the New York Times.
New York Times, yeah.
The whole thing about the president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, and I'm like, they call her a mother, a modernist woman. And I'm like, do you even know who her dad was? Her dad literally captured, I think it was like an American guy, and he tortured him, and they like her dad was like a terrorist. So it's like you're talking this woman a modernist because she speaks French.
It's nuts. It's nuts. But it's just they're just so bad, especially in America. Like you kind of have to rate it because they just are so blatantly biased. It's ridiculous on both sides as well. They're just so blatantly biased. It's just
They
ridiculous.
will control the media. If you look at even the TV here, like most of the TV is towards the left side more than the right. It's kind of odd, but it's just it happens. So I
I
don't
say
know.
Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like I feel like let's say Obama did this because everybody loved Obama. Let's say Obama did this.
I looked.
Everybody will be like, "Oh my God, Obama did the best thing ever." You know? And I know in my heart, even like if Obama runs one more time, Obama is gonna win because everybody just loves Obama. But it's like, you gotta like see it like that. Like, let's take Trump out of the picture. Let's take everybody. Let's just look into the bigger picture. You know, what is this? This is about money. This is about resources. This is about developing the technology. This is about geographically points in life.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
People are preparing for something that we all don't want to happen, but a World War III. And that's the reason why these countries are so, it might seem to us like being extra or being over the top, but it's really not. Because if if the shit hits a fan, they need to know that they're protected and that they're going to win. And that's the reason for it. It's always going to be a thing. And that's the reason why Greenland's even come into question. Because as you said, it's location. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting to see. So positive solution for you for Venezuela would be pretty much US control.
I don't see it. I don't see why not. But I mean, um, we'll see what happens within this year and the next couple months. But definitely things will improve if they do put a lot of the money and resources that they said they're gonna put. Like they're gonna even a Walmart. Like I even read like Walmart is getting ready to like open a store over there. I'm like Walmart. So Walmart has all whatever you want to buy.
But are people going to be able to afford it based on what you've said?
That is, yeah, if they actually raised if they change everything to dollars, probably.
Mm,
Because the money over there is so much like there's so much inflation over there that it's insane.
yeah, I can imagine. Honestly, I
And
was listening to like the inflation even in places like Iran. And they were
yeah,
saying something like a loaf of bread is the same price as it was to get a car at some point.
yeah. So it's
Nuts.
like inflation is so crazy. I don't know how you will make their money worth that much, to be honest with you. So I think anyway, when you go to places over there, they're in dollars. So just few people can afford certain places, certain things.
Mm.
So it's like, I mean, they're right now they're using both. They're using the Bolivar, which is the official, money from Venezuela, and then they're using dollars too. So it's
Mm.
like we're already been using dollars for a while. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, maybe just change it completely to a dollar. That would be like more economist side, but I don't know how that will work.
Yeah, cool. And what's your plans then moving forward? Because you're very outspoken about this. So I'm sure you got more podcasts and stuff to go on to and share your opinion, which is obviously, especially whilst, whilst it's current, that's going to be able to obviously get you some good views and, you've got the cojones to talk about it as well. So what's the plan with your content moving forward?
So I am doing a little bit of everything. I'm doing my life. I'm doing my views and political situations, especially with Venezuela, because of course it's what I lived my whole life. This is my country, my home country. And um and I'm doing my fitness stuff. So
Mm.
I'm doing all three right now, and I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like a crazy combination. But I mean, it's just like I feel like when all this happened with that video, I just stuck from my heart. It's like I feel like I don't do anything in regards to like, oh, let me just get this or that from it. I just do it because I feel it from my heart, and it just got crazy with that video. Like,
How many views did you get?
I have over 2.7 million. Yeah.
Big that. Big. Very
Yeah.
impressive.
It
Very,
just
very
got
impressive.
it got crazy, and I had not even like 1,000 followers before that video.
Now you've got 10,000.
Yeah,
No, that just shows that the right video can go far. But do you know what's good about it as well? You didn't blow up for something that was just stupid. Or something like where you just, I don't know, you did something silly or something like that, or something really provocative, or you made it through something that actually was from the heart, authentic. So kudos to you.
thank you, thank you.
No worries at all. Is there anything that you want to leave the audience that we don't know today? Is there anything you want to tag, share that you've got coming up?
I think we're good.
Good, good. Got it out there. Thank you so much for coming on. This is generally one of those ones where even I've learned a lot. So I hope that you guys have all learned a lot too. What the Venezuelan situation is actually like from an actual Venezuelan, what's actually going on the ground as well. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on, guys. Amazing content and more to come out as well. Thanks so much for coming on and peace out. I'll stop now.
Perfect.